We're 100 days from the election now, less than. I have a hard time believing the Wayfair thing based on the Russia. Mostly anything dealing with Russia, I have a hard time to believe.
You fill 1,700 pages, and maybe you'll want to write more of them. I mean, everything we're talking about, you could have a page and a half.
And maybe they'd read more of them too.
Yeah.
Because the long form discussion is taking over these news segments, are taking over these spoon-fed, prepackaged media sound bites that we get every day.
Media. Yep.
Do you think anyone on the left should have been blamed for this?
The insurrection?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the entire media.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Just come out swinging.
Yeah, there's no pre-show today, bitch. There's no pre-show. There's no pre-show. I'm gonna lead right into it. And then you can do your little intro you always do. Hey, everybody. How come, I know I do it by myself, but how come we gotta lead an episode with me saying some awkward shit looking like a creeper? From this part out, I'm gonna be naked. You cut that in there.
I just think that people need to get to know the real Ryan.
So what the hell's that mean? Make me embarrass myself to our following?
Ryan, I'll be honest. I didn't know you got embarrassed.
That's kind of true. I'm really. All I'm saying is I highly enjoyed it. I laughed awfully hard. From here on out, I will be naked. Hey everybody, Ryan. Inappropriate. And then it was super funny because I don't even remember what we said before the start of the episode last week, which is always the case.
Yeah. We usually banter for a few minutes, and then Ryan says something, and then we cut to me doing an intro. Kind of
like right now.
Like this. Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773. This is episode 50-something of the weekly show. I honestly can't keep track anymore.
59.
With me, as always, is Ryan. The weekly show is all the week's hottest topics with a twist. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. I don't know what Ryan's doing.
Counting all the things we're on.
It's 3. It's 3 things. Ryan's got his kryptonite. I think we're ready to roll. I don't know, Ryan, if you saw this. I wanted to attempt to make the case later in the episode for Joe Biden treason.
I found a couple parallels, in particular to precedent in our United States government, but I'll wait. I'll wait. I did see it. Sorry, personally, to anybody listening and stuff that has contacted me. I know I have friends of mine that watch, so I appreciate you guys reaching out. I kind of went 0 Dark 30 this week, so I'll get to all that later as we progress here too.
Is that going to potentially be Decembertainment?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, before we do Decembertainment, for anyone who watches the show, we do know how the structure usually is. It's usually introduction, headlines, Ryan says some stuff, Ryan does Decembertainment, and then Ryan does an outro. And then during the headlines, Ryan usually does all of the talking. This is why Ryan is the host of the show.
Yeah. I make it up too, which is incredible. I was actually, because when you contacted me about the case for treason, I actually had to do a little bit of stuff, I couldn't come in here blind, so. But it didn't, what's beautiful is with doing the show weekly, especially people that keep up weekly, I'm not saying the shit's redundant, but there's a lot of common themes we always talk about, but to keep seeing it repeatedly or in a different way or like a new way, like that they're, Alex always said it's a war for your mind, right? It's a war for your sanity. So like in a weird way, they always tell you to unplug from the matrix and stuff, but we're kind of seeing it, we see it every week, so it's kind of cool, but yeah, that's all I got there.
Perfect. Leading into our headlines, this could have potentially been caused by one of our let's say more secretive members of December 1773 that no one has really seen or met. But he went back to school recently and he said, I'm not doing masks. Headlines! 88-year-old professor resigns mid-class after student refuses to wear a mask. I risked my life to defend my country in the Air Force, not willing to risk my life to teach unmasked students. First of all, he's 88 years old, dude. You should have retired 23 years ago.
Yeah, talk about maxing out your fucking retirement.
This guy, 88 years old.
You know, it's crazy. Is you always hear about like teachers say they're like underpaid and shit, but like I've seen demographics of like some of the most well-off people in retirement are educators. So it's kind of weird how they double dip the system. Which makes me go a little further out of thought this week, dealing with back to school, David. Personally, it's been a little nightmarish. Now, I don't know if I'm going to blame all teachers here, but
not all of them.
Not all of them, but just like 80% of them. Like, what the fuck? You know, you referenced last week the headline about doctors not treating people because they're unvaccinated. They're going back on the hypocrite. Now, I know this is a select people, but the idea still remains the same. We're really seeing the healthcare field and the teaching field in particular be the arms of the government that you don't even really think about. These people are reinforcing the tyranny that the government is putting into place. And a lot of them are so complacent with it because it's just ingrained into our system to listen to your teachers or listen to your doctor or like these other things. They're like the invisible tentacles of the Hydra that is our government corruption. And I find it ironic that as a taxpayer, I'm hearing that there's shortage of busing and all these other things. And I made a remark to my family member, like, have the janitor pick kids up. Have a fucking teacher drive the bus. We already pay taxes. It's already figured into a budget every year or every 10 years or 5 years about transportation and the cost of maintenance. And they factor, this isn't fucking out of the blue. Nothing's changed just because we're getting a new version of the flu, which is another thought I had this week. But it's a little ridiculous. And at the college level, I mean, we're dealing with grown adults, 88 years old. You're teaching young adults and, in some cases, 30-year-old adults. Like, what happened to fucking... It's been talked about by plenty of other places that, like, critical conversation is dead in some of these areas, in particular schools like Ben Shapiro can't go to or Jordan Peterson. But, like, I mean, it's a fucking mask. Once again, we're seeing in my home state here, they're having problems. Kids got to be masked and all these things. And there was a very popular meme that made the cycle around the timeline this week speaking about how we replace the student desks with restaurant tables and they'll be able to take their mask off when they sit down. You know, and it seems like like we're abandoning reason on principle and then we're interjecting like science with logic. It's just like, dude, this is fucking ridiculous. Like we can't even have a conversation anymore about like, you know, there's many layers to the COVID problem, and it seems, I mean, you always say you don't want to make these COVID shows, but I think it's going to be a COVID lifestyle. Like, it's already become that. We're all used to it in a weird way, even though we speak out about it. Still, but this doesn't, once again, we talked a few weeks ago about your health insurance and all these other things. We saw Delta. This is another arm, once again, the invisible arm. Employment, education, banks. You know, who fucking knows where this goes, but these are the invisible authoritarians. You're going to refuse. I pay money to come here. I shouldn't have to be fucking masked.
Yeah. I don't know, if only that professor would get vaccinated, he wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Speaking of that, real quickly, personal story. I'm not going to get into every bit of business. I heard a thing, it's in relation to my job. Dude got a vaccine and he's deathly ill, could kill him. Double vaccinated.
I'm sure it's unrelated.
Yeah, I'm sure it's unrelated. Now, I don't know if he had previous medical conditions or anything like that, but it could actually kill the guy. So what the fuck do I know? And then also, personal story, one of my friends that I've met through the internet, never met him in person, but he has COVID. So, yeah, man. Here at the show, we never said that. Yeah, Xbox Farmer. We always said, Country Boy. We always said COVID would suck, man, and he said it fucking sucks. And it came on in waves and stuff, but you never know, man. It's a roll of the dice every day.
Brian, we do frequently talk about mass metadata on the show and your privacy and, you know, all of these things. And the next two headlines kind of are going to just reaffirm everything we talk about. Headlines. Apple announces first states that will let you keep a digital version of your driver's license on your iPhone. That seems convenient. Just, you always got your phone on you, so just,
Dave, let's parallel that with vaccine passports. Because a lot of places you show your vaccine passport and then you have to show your driver's license to prove that the vaccine passport is actually indeed your own. It's weird that I got a fucking smartphone app. I still have to pull out my physical driver's license. This is all part of it, man. The switch over to the traceable device.
Won't this just make it really easy? Like, let's compromise now. If we can just keep digital driver's licenses on our phone, can we just show them when we go to vote? Right? Everyone's got a cell phone, so you just, here's my ID. I'd like to vote, please. Or is that still against voters' rights?
Yeah, we should vote in person on paper. I don't think we should have digital anything.
What if we just send in digital? We've talked about this before. Digital voting on your phone. All you have to do, send it on your phone. You send in a picture of your driver's license that's on your phone already now. This is getting better. This is going to work. I can't see anything that would go wrong with this.
I don't know, like every science fiction movie that fucking Darth Vader took over. It's so dumb. We watch Star Wars. You guys line up to go see fucking Star Wars. Like, I told this to my sister, right? This is going to be a little nerdy Star Wars talk, but it's very true to, like, a lot of society, man. Like, all it took to overthrow the Jedi was one fucking Jedi. That's all it took. Now, granted, Anakin's the chosen one and the Jesus of Jedi, sure, all them crazy things, but it would be that guy. That's part of the reason why he's the Jesus of the Jedi. But, like, just the thought of, like, it only takes one really good person to know how to fuck everything up, Like, that's all, that's all it is. It's the driver license on the phone is another step for the all digital traceable fucking monitor. They're going to tax you on everything. How do I know they're not going to charge me wear and tear on the sidewalk if I start walking more? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? They're going to tax me by the miles per traveled? I don't trust any of these authoritarian cocksuckers.
Yeah, well, luckily for you, this is Apple.
Yeah, just the company that has suicide nets outside their business.
I don't want to jump out.
Disclaimer.
It's hard to replace those people.
Disclaimer, I have an iPhone, so I support these cocksuckers. Yeah, your Android ain't better. We talked about the Freedom phone. I forget Candace Owens was plugging it. Like I said then, and I still believe it. They'll just cut the fucking internet to the building. Spectrum's woke, or all these other companies are woke, man. We're seeing the traceable, trackable. I mean, seriously, Hunger Games. I mean, 1984. Like, how many modern representations of, movies and stuff do we got to see that we're living in now?
People love to make and love to watch these, like, dystopian movies, and we are just absolutely living in it. It's kind of tremendous to see in firsthand.
Yeah, like, this is how you implement a new form of government or a new form of, like, society. Once again,
we should know what's coming next. We've seen the movie.
Yeah, no, but people have squirrel mentality. Like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, minus the long form. God damn it, man! I was really thinking about, like, not everybody should have, like, an opinion, but it's so crude, such a short way of thinking. But we should all at least have the ability to talk about it. And I personally experienced I had a conversation with somebody and they got upset, and when they walked away, I felt like, wow, we were, like, unfinished with, like, this little debate we had, and I didn't. Like, for real, like, we gotta be, I don't know. If we start a conversation, we should be able to end it, so.
We were recently talking about Australia fighting off, their protest for the mask mandates. And since, they already willingly gave away their guns, they had to do it, by hand.
They didn't willingly, they coaxed them into it, but sure, that's willingly. I'll take that as willing.
It was pretty willing. Nobody fought it, to be fair.
Well, they just gave you money, just like they'll give you a donut if you go and get vaccinated.
Headlines. Australian government tests facial recognition application to implement during quarantine measures. My understanding of this is it's an app, and the app will randomly contact you and say, you, send a picture of you in your house right now. And you have to comply.
No, you don't.
That's what it says.
No, you don't.
Well, you do, because you don't have
No,
guns.
you don't.
you don't really have much.
I'm so glad you said that, David. Man, I had so many good conversations personally that have tied perfectly into your structure here, David. I was talking to somebody about firearms today, and I've talked about how I fucking hate even bringing it up. I'm sorry. That I hate even bringing it up. And he actually referenced there was a thing going around TikTok, which is a terrible way to consume information, people. It's a good starting point, but and he talked about how in Switzerland the people have to be part of the military and then they basically are allowed to own a firearm. And he's like, we should do that. It's like, no, man, you don't understand the difference about our Second Amendment and why it makes it perfect. People always reference the militia, but that is only one part of the amendment, just like freedom of speech and the freedom of the press are two separate things in the part of the First Amendment, along the other things.
What separates those two things?
This is what I told him too, because this is a perfect thing. Oh, you mean the little comma, the little whoop, whoop?
Well, it's like a period, yeah. It's like a period, but it's tails off a little.
I believe it's a Shakespearean way of writing, and if you look into that, they call it the preamble of the Second Amendment, which is the necessity of a free state, the militia, and then the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, which is the most important part of the amendment, and which is what we always talk about, David. You're referencing Australia not having firearms. My friend, when he brought up the Switzerland thing, he's not necessarily wrong. But what he's speaking about, that form is the militia, which is what the first part of the Second Amendment is referencing. Okay, I'm glad we have that figured out. But the second part is more important because the only thing that will guarantee your right is freedoms are only as good as you can defend them. And I was always taught and I was always told that the Second Amendment is a linchpin for the other Bill of Rights and the other parts of the Constitution, because without your ability to reinforce your freedom of speech, you do not have freedom of speech. And we're watching that happen in Australia. And it's really a tragedy because this has been documented several times over the course of history, and somehow we're watching the same movie and not learning. And that's not necessarily discouraging, but it's not going to be a good thing.
Can you see this right now?
I assume it's a female messing with things.
Oh, and now Teddy's gonna have his freaking spaz attack. The studio is sacred!
The studio is fucking sacred. I don't know what people don't get, man. For those who don't know, one of the greatest things I ever did was like put a camera on and listen to myself talk. You know why? You learn a lot about yourself, man. You kind of learn how to structure talking. It's weird to think about it that way, but having a good conversation is super important, but I truly believe when you start thinking there's so many things in the air and you like pull from like invisible balloons. That's how I do this podcast. I pull from invisible balloons of shit that I've gathered and talked about and remembered and read. But like, we gotta do it. And when I mean it's sacred, man, you can lose all of those balloons if the nerdy ass energy is thrown off, man.
Did you see this story about Adam Sandler and Netflix? You haven't. This is good. This is why I like doing this.
Yeah, naked ass headlines, things I know nothing about.
Headlines. Adam Sandler says Netflix asked him to rewrite his new movie so it wasn't set in China because the company doesn't do business in China.
Netflix doesn't do business in China?
Nope.
So why the fuck would you care if I made a movie set about China?
Well, just in case.
So that's really what they told him?
Yeah.
He said this, like he said Netflix told me to...
Oh, yeah.
Well, it sounds like artistic freedom there is able for freedom of speech. That's fucking weird to be able to leverage shit. God, oh my God. Keep going, I'm sorry. This is...
if I'm remembering the story correctly, he's doing a story about a basketball player, maybe. In the original story, the guy came from China. And he had to change it to the guy coming from like some South American company or country or something along those lines. But yeah, he Netflix said, nope, can't do China. Sorry.
Do you think, well, good for Netflix not doing business with the fucking Chinese. I guess that's a reassuring.
I don't think it's Netflix. It's not up to Netflix. If I read further, yeah.
So you're,
yeah. I read further in the article. The one head of Netflix they've been trying to get into China, but whoever in China isn't allowing it to happen. It's weird. I wonder why.
Yeah,
it's almost like they want to control all the information.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if Netflix and Chinese government are going to talk so that they can combat misinformation on the streaming services. We won't want any independent content to get out, considering we have all your content on a cloud that we can access at any time and scan photographs for apparently inappropriate images, and then we can just flag those and have them deleted from your cloud without you even realizing it, because you have 4,000 billion photographs up there. It's weird. And China says they want a DNA database and be able to track every inch of fucking humanity through a digital footprint in a database, and they just have all these filters. It's weird. It go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
How's their super soldiers coming? Is there any updates on that?
I don't know, dude. These motherfuckers. Why
How
are we
about the World Blood Bank? How's that working? I feel like we should follow up on these. We brought these up in the past.
They're cocksucking communists, bro. They're gonna get it. It's just 200 years from now. They're just telling about us. I love any time. It's fucking crazy. I love any time that our government reports on what the Chinese say about us. They're like state-sponsored media. It's like, okay, what's the difference? We have state-sponsored media combating misinformation, but it's so fucking hilarious. They show you how they talk about how their media talks about us. You know what I mean? We're looking at it through the lens of these communist pieces of shit that like to regulate information. Even though our government does the same exact thing almost. It's the same communist system with capitalism more tied into it. Oh, this is just freedom. We just have the right because this is our publisher. This is our platform. Whatever excuse they fucking use. That's crazy.
The other thing I saw about China, apparently they have a new policy and they're not going to allow effeminate men on TV.
Yeah, I wonder why. Sounds like they're bracing to invade fucking America. Conspiracy theory. Because maybe there's not firearms behind every blade of grass anymore. I wonder if that has a part to do with it, because we're partly disarmed in large areas, apparently.
That's weird. I have just one other piece of news. This is one that, if you follow Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on Facebook, which you should, they have been all over this. Headlines. Supreme Court does allow the Texas 6-week abortion ban to take effect. According to the Supreme Court, it is not a violation of Roe v. Wade. It's as simple as it sounds. After 6 weeks, it is no longer legal to get an abortion in Texas. And that's it. That's literally the entire story. But we've talked about before on the show about middle ground, and I don't think there's any middle ground to be had. I mean, would you agree?
Well, let me ask you a question, David. The person growing inside of a person, is that the same exact person as the person that's carrying the person inside?
No.
Then how is it your body, your choice? Moving onward. It's crazy that we've talked, I referenced about how they want to give elephants human rights and shit. We always talk about, this is the way they make you forfeit your, biological matter. I hate that we gotta do history lessons every time we do a podcast. Because, a lot of the reasons that we have problems in today is because we don't understand it. The thing that makes civil liberties great is that they're just listed. But it's general knowledge of leave people alone, do others how you do unto yourself, the golden rules, a lot of basic things that have worked for millions of years, literally. And then this whole thing of my body and my choice, it's we've gotten so scientifically minded that we subtract the fact that we are we have essences. Nobody's the same, man. I have a kid, you know what I mean? I've, full transparency, I've experienced the loss of children. Not live children, but they were just a clump of cells or whatever the fuck you want to tell me they were, man.
Mm-hmm. Which,
in some states, they push the boundary, the common ground thing. Up till the day that the kid's born, it's supposed to be a person. Now it's a person, but your dog is your kid, right? Oh, go say hi to daddy. Your dog's not a fucking person, man. They don't have an idea of time and consciousness and a concept of reality in the way of mathematics and science and reason and spirituality and logical conclusions and like instinct and be able to experience things and not experience things. And like, dude, they're so it's Dave, I've been told by many people, I believe you included, like, this is one of your things, man. But this, when this started happening, older people I know said this is what gravitated me towards politics, was this idea. Mm-hmm. And in our generation of people, it's more of like, it's the woman's right to choose and all this other shit. And obviously this week we've been seeing a lot of things about men, right? I love that they're making this, I thought it was your body, your choice. They say men are making the laws and all this other thing, which could be true or not true. What makes men so disqualified? This is the problem with smashing.
What about when they make the laws in the opposite direction? Then they don't care.
Oh, you mean like?
Let's just have an honest discussion here.
You mean like child support laws?
Sure. Yeah, who made those laws?
Women.
Unplug your headphones. I want to hear.
I can't just unplug the headphones mid thing.
Yeah, it just really makes you wonder, like, you know, you got a book. I said this like on one of our first podcasts. My dad has one of the greatest things ever I've ever heard when it comes to this argument and this conversation, I'll say, instead of argument. He said, you don't take two dead things and make a life from them.
Sure.
You know, and then I've been seeing things this week about religion and separation of church and state and all these other things. And like when people say that, you know, we're all divine, godly spirits and all this thing, it's like, we don't know fucking anything about consciousness. These people could be right, they couldn't be right, but it doesn't matter. Like the real question these people need to be confronted with, Jen Pulaski and all this other shit, they keep using this language of like, well, men, and why are we demonizing men? Why are we demonizing the very men that build society? Why are we demonizing the things that get done by men every day to build the world, to make the world a better place? A lot of it's done by men. A lot of men work in blue-collar fields. A lot of men do a lot of good things every day, even if they do terrible things in private. A lot of men contribute a lot of things, and we're demonizing men. And we're told it's a woman's issue when it takes two to make a life. And it's like women, I'm not saying they're skirting responsibility, but we're missing a lot of individualism in general. You know, this is the problem with socialism, communism, when you group things in masses and you don't really look at it at the individual level. Only you can create change in the world in your life. And I don't know, man. I know I'm a little rambly here, but this is such a crazy thought. These people need to be asked. This is the crux of it, is when does life start for you then? Fucking tell me. Tell me, is it day 1? Is it day 100? Is it, and why do you have this invisible line? You say you don't care about boundaries on a country, right? You say that lines aren't invisible. Why? Well, why is this line visible? Because now you have scientific proof to back it up. Well, it doesn't develop a heartbeat or consciousness, or
well, conveniently enough, that's at 6 weeks.
Oh, that is weird. That it has fingerprints.
That's what it's based on.
This thing here, fingerprints.
That's when it develops a heartbeat.
Oh, because that's not a lot. It's dead before that. A heartbeat is the only thing that makes it alive, even though people.
Maybe, but I mean, that's, you know, again, if you're going to have middle ground, isn't that good middle ground to have?
It would sound like a compromise so that people in extreme, because we always hear the extremes, right? And extremes don't necessarily make the rules, right? It goes for a lot of things, almost everything in life, I'll say. But these things are, well, rapes and incest and underage. It's like, yeah.
Right, which was less than what, 5%?
Yeah, probably even smaller than that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of miscarriages that go unreported. And to go another thing, I saw it was another thing I seen on my timeline. It talked about the odds of being alive is like 1 in 300 trillion or something. You know, now whether this is a real number or not, but it's basically trying to tell you that, like, just the odds of egg and sperm utilizing to come together to create life is such a crazy, unfathomable thing that is basically, we should be grateful for life. And that's a big problem I have with this discussion is I feel like we always look, well, kids are a virus or it's a parasite growing inside. It's so anti-human, if you want to put that conversation. I don't think we're a plague of the planet. I think we do pretty well considering. There's a lot of metrics for that. We could be stewards of the earth. We could regreen the earth. I believe all that truly. But it's going to happen with American values. It's not going to happen with communism. That's where politics gets into it. I morally believe in people. I believe we're here for good. I know people do good. I genuinely want to believe that all people are good, by nature. And that we want to make a better world for our children. The things we inhibit, we want to grow so that when we pass, they're better than when we receive them. I think most people want to live like that. So this whole talk is to me, it just makes you devalue life and make you ungrateful at the bare least, that life is so treacherous, it's so rare, it's so hard. I mean, we're the only fucking planet that has life, apparently.
That we know of, yeah.
We can't even find water. The building block of life, right, David? You need water before you get the people. You need trees before people, right? We need trees to breathe. How many things have to be alive for me to be alive? You know how awesome that is? How grateful I am to be a person?
Well, doesn't that make you a parasite?
Yeah, parasite, because I can get access to all the information to make the world a better place. It sounds like a terrible thing to be.
What?
Then why is it any of your business at all? It's not your business, it's not Ryan's business, it's not my business what another woman chooses to do with her body.
It's not my business if somebody goes out on the street and shoots somebody in the face,
Okay,
but we have laws against that for a reason.
We have a child and we have the means to take care of more, but have we? No. So are you going to take care of the kids that go into the foster system?
No. Are you going to kill them?
They wouldn't be there if the people were allowed to be
Ask her, when does human life start for her? Ask
Why
her.
not make men get vasectomies until they're ready to prove that they can be a father?
Because why don't we sterilize women then, like they do in fucking Africa?
Okay, so should women get their tubes tied also?
That's not reversible.
Okay.
Why?
Is abortion
it's easier
reversible?
for men? Because men are more disposable?
Listen, I'm just saying. Listen, if you consider something with a heartbeat separate of your own a separate life, then killing it is murder.
It's not, because
it is. It absolutely is.
Because it hasn't taken its first breath.
There's adults that can't live on their own. We don't take them out too.
Yeah, we should kill the mentally ill and homeless, right? Like Sparta, so we only have a strong society.
Sure. They're parasites.
Yeah, we should whip people till they're strong, right? And this, hold on, go even fucking further. And then the argument about adoption, right? People are like, put it up for adoption. Be like, well, adoption's ran by child molesters and there's not enough funding. It's like, okay, so now the reason to kill somebody is the negligence of government. We've given government a monopoly on the fucking the social service system. And it's in shambles because this is something crazy to even try to monetize and put. It's not easy to figure out, granted. But we've given it to the government and they fucking failed. And the solution is we'll just kill the kid or kill this person. It's crazy. I don't know what you guys did personally, but I didn't find the sex of my kid out until the second she was born. I didn't use technology.
We found out as soon as we could, but Nolan didn't cooperate, so he would roll around and then we couldn't tell. It took 3 trips to...
It was literally 2 weeks before we had him. Before we knew.
Yeah, good. It's the best. You know what? You should have waited the 2 weeks because it's the greatest thing ever.
I wanted to know as soon as possible.
It's lame, bro. It's lame.
It's not the greatest. Either way, it's a surprise. You know what? It doesn't matter.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. You literally have no idea. It's the greatest thing ever. But dude, I know this is a loaded debate, basically a loaded conversation. But we gotta be able to have it, right?
Sure.
And it's not made to be easy, which is why we have to be educated and pay attention. We have 80% of the population that don't read the newspaper, don't follow politics or religion or history, and get common sense. And then we're all trying to have a discussion. And it's these hashtags of my body, my choice. These very simplistic. That's why I think it's more important to talk about the philosophical debate about it instead of this woman's raped or we can't take. Let's talk about the general morality of the overall principle before we talk about highly specific scenarios, because that's when that's when law gets involved. But let's talk about it morally as people, And it's not a judgment to women. This isn't downplaying the struggles of women. Being a woman is hard in the world. I mean, it's hard enough. Everybody has a hard enough, but, you know, the burden of childbearing is not an easy thing for anybody to deal with. You know, and obviously it only happens with one sex physically, but they're both hopefully there to take care of it, to take care of that person.
Well, I don't know if there's any further to go on that.
I know. It's just a shame there's a lot of us that come from broken families, man. I think that's where some of this
headlines
come from.
What?
Did you talk about the headline of how many kids Nick Cannon has had this year?
Nick Cannon.
Yeah, look it up.
He's probably got more kids than he's got.
Look it up.
Actually, semi-decent.
I'm pretty
lines.
sure in just 1 year he had 4 kids to 3 different ladies.
Probably.
So how is it fair to put everything on the women when the men are the ones?
We're not even talking about men or women.
No, you're talking about abortion.
You know, hold on.
That's exactly.
Can you put her on? I want to ask her a serious thing.
I don't know if she'll.
Or ask her the question then. Like, how is it talking about when life starts? An inherent.
Wait, hold on. I don't think she'll come on camera, but I'll put the headphones on her.
Yeah.
I can hear if you hold them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can hear.
She says she can hear if I do this.
Okay, I just want to ask, okay? At what point have I put any of this on women, or at what point does it become that it's being put on women that we discuss the morality of ending a life before it has taken its first breath? It has nothing to do with women. It's basically, the conversation, at least I'm trying to have, is removing the responsibility of either party and focus on, like I said, when does fucking life start? Like, we'll never know, obviously, but that's why we have the discussion. But it's not like we're blaming
8 weeks?
sex.
All right, perfect. She gave us I think 8 weeks.
Great.
Perfect.
So
Great.
now we can.
Texas changes it 2 weeks.
Ideas.
2 weeks more to 8 week abortion ban. Do we all agree? Do we all agree now?
Well, once moving it closer to the beginning is what happens if there's like a bunch of abnormalities and stuff that they don't detect right away.
So we should kill it because it's disabled.
That's what.
Like okay, I'm glad she put a date on it, but it also goes the other way. This debate goes the other way then. Like, there's problems moving it earlier. There's also problems moving it later because now we're devaluing life longer. We're like, well, this is now more life-like than it isn't life. So now, like, it's 51% life. We'll agree 51. That's fucking ludicrous. You can only be alive or you can only be dead. So I'm not saying we should force women to go to term like it's been thrown in my face or thrown in certain people's faces that you're forcing women. No, we can come up with solutions, man, but we should empower.
One of the solutions is realizing that one man having 4 different kids in 1 year is ridiculous.
For the record, none of us were talking about Nick Cannon. None of us like Nick Cannon. I'm guessing.
I'm using him as an example. One man can impregnate 365 women a year. Women can only have a certain amount of kids. Yeah, we have a lot of eggs, but up until, when we get to like upwards of 10 kids, then our uterus, it's harder to carry a baby to term. And it keeps going down the more kids you have. So like my grandma having 12 kids, my mom was born dead. They had to bring her back and they told her, if you have another one, we aren't going to be able to help that baby. Well, that's not fair to like always, I'm not saying you two in general, it's just in general, it's always on the woman, but like, there's men in their 70s out there having babies still. So shouldn't we put more on the men? I'm
going to guess this is just your perception though, because everyone I know who's pro-life,
I'm not pro-abortion.
Gender
I'm
and
pro-choice.
Okay, but is one of those choices abortion?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pro-abortion.
None of my.
So most people I know who are pro-life don't even care about men, women, and it never even comes up. That's just what the.
But it needs to.
Why?
Because if you can tackle those problems, then there aren't going to be any unwanted pregnancies.
I'm not saying this is a one-fold. You just let people do whatever they want, and then abortion's illegal. What I'm saying is, when we discuss abortion, when most people I know who are pro-life discuss abortion, the thing they're talking about is the separate life from the other person.
But then I always challenge you when we have this discussion.
Gender and sex is irrelevant.
Right. But I always challenge you when we have this discussion as what happens after that baby's born. What if it has parents that can't take care of it? What if it gets put into the system where the majority of foster parents harm these kids? They sexually abuse them, they use them as a paycheck. That's a whole other issue to be addressed.
Exactly, that's a whole other issue to be addressed.
But it's not being addressed. So until then, why would you force babies to be born into this situation when they don't have to be?
It's not about forcing people to be born or not to be born. These are separate.
It's an anti-human behavior. You're just like literally stifling the future of your group. Like, we need more people. Like, we need people to like, the fucking power will literally turn off if we stop having sex with each other. It's not like hyperbole. Like, I don't...
Well...
Devaluing of life. You know, I'll have the conversation all day. We're not going to beat this to a dead horse.
No,
But
we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
We're ready to move on. We wanted to talk... I know Ryan's probably got other stuff, too. We just wanted to move on to one other person. One person who... maybe I would have let slide if they were aborted. But Joe Biden and the Afghanistan thing that has gone down. What?
How are you gonna...
I'm just saying.
It was such a good joke, dude.
You might look the other way sometimes.
Oh, Lordy. Go ahead.
I told Ryan what we wanted to do, and Ryan said he did research into this, and I'm actually curious to see what he came up with.
What?
You know exactly what.
The treason Joe Biden?
Yeah, and I'm going to probably, whatever you came up with, I'm probably just going to ruin everybody's dreams. But I just want to hear what you came up with first.
All right. So here's the thing. There's a big thing in this country about precedent, right? We always hear about, well, this, in particular with the Biden talk, we always hear that he inherited a mess from Trump. Okay? Whether that's true or not. We always look to the past to be able to figure out the future because we're analyzing it in the present. Great. I'm glad we're all in agreement. So, David, I got very... Donald Trump was filled with so many scandals and problems and media fucking this and that I was like, why was Trump actually impeached, right? Because it was always murky, the actual idea. So they came down to, I actually looked it up, see what Wikipedia, what
the official impeachment?
Yeah, the official impeachment was abuse of power.
Sure.
And incitement of insurrection.
You okay?
Okay. It comes out a year later. Insurrection never happened. There was no plot. So how could he incite something that wasn't even planned? Okay, right? Because now they're calling the insurrectionists rioters in the news instead of insurrectionists. It's kind of weird. And then
weird.
His second one was abuse of power. That it was the whole Ukrainian, that he was trying to leverage his political power and funding to get information based on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Which later comes out that really was kind of bullshit. They released the full phone call. They declassified the phone call. The Donald Trump administration did basically in real time. And we've obviously always talked about how the media covers for Biden on this program. These people know exactly what they do, and it's...
Well, I'm glad he never did such an abuse of power.
Yeah, no such abuse of power. And I know they're not the same thing. The reason Donald Trump was impeached are obviously two different things in themselves. These are very simplistic views. But I reference the impeachment because only 5 presidents or 4 presidents have ever been impeached in the history of this country out of 46 presidents, or almost 300 years of civilization, and the world's longest running continual democracy. We've had 5 presidents impeached.
5? Really?
Articles of impeachment filed, yes.
Nixon, Clinton, Trump, and who else?
There was guys before them. But anyways, the point is really, once again, using as precedent, Joe Biden, he was told what was going to happen with Afghanistan. I think Afghanistan alone, right, knowing what happened, this is fucking so crazy.
By who, Ryan? By who? By what? Army generals? The Pentagon? Intelligence agencies? Yeah.
They should all these people that allowed this to happen, they fucking knew, right? Like, they knew what would happen. This isn't by accident, man. 9/11 is right around the corner. and I keep getting things about 9/11 20 years later, and all these news organization headlines and all this jumbling of information intermixed with all the current Afghanistan problems. It's weird how those things are coinciding together, and it's like they're tugging on both sides of your emotions, like the present and the past. And dude, Joe Biden fucking caused this directly. They knew what would happen. They botched the efforts. They went through all the things. I've heard Benghazi thrown around a lot. I've heard the Tea Party getting investigated by the Barack Obama administration, the Fast and Furious scandal. George Bush, I'm sure, was investigated for some bullshit. But the point of it is, Joe Biden, the Afghanistan pullout, that was a direct death of Americans. I've seen people hung from helicopters, fall out of airplanes, on the very close to the very anniversary of the largest terrorist attack that ever gripped the nation of America, that made us rally to fight against, quote unquote, the war on terror and weapons of mass destruction, and $1 trillion of the United States Treasury funds drained on things across the globe, and Joe Biden just happened to fucking botch it at the very exact time when there's all these other problems going on in the world, higher gas prices, inflation, car shortages, all these other things. Come on. What else do you call it? I said the other week, it may have been last week even, if the generals knew this would happen, that allowed it to happen, and didn't consort, let's say he steps down, the whole way up. Do you remember when Trump dropped the Moab and everyone was like, he's fucking starting war? Let's look backwards to how you felt about that guy. Remember, he crushed ISIS. Now there's a new form of ISIS. We gave the
That's the old form.
ISIS-K. They got more fucking organizations, the LBG, TWX, Y, and Z. Is there going to be a spectrum of flag for terrorism now? Is that the next one to fly in my home country? There's 7 shades of terrorism. Do you remember the Homeland Security fucking flag color that they have? Oh, red is a terrorist event. Mm-hmm. It's basically, they copy-pasted that with the COVID. High outbreak. It's the same MO, man. It's the Y2K bug. It's the scare. It's the all these things. And then you're telling me you didn't know this was going to happen? I saw it before recording this program. This is dropping on Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. God damn it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Labor Another Day. That was last year's 007, Labor Another Day. Squirrel. But I seen before this that the Taliban or ISIS-K, I don't even know anymore. Just like everybody fucking else doesn't know anymore. But they're stopping airplanes from leaving with American citizens on there.
I saw upwards of 100,000 people are still over there.
Let's look back at the other presidents. Do you remember excuse me. Do you remember the white supremacist rally in Charleston when Donald Trump wasn't condemning white supremacy and he was part of the problem? And he's.
So you mean when he did?
But he didn't.
Well, he did though. He literally specifically did.
Okay. But do you, like the media? I know it's the media. I know they lie. But the point is, they stir the public discourse to vote the policies. Once again, they are directly tied to the government to combat misinformation, which means we're going to run government narratives and see what works. Overton window, 1984.
Did you see the misinformation walkback, by the way?
I didn't know we did that here in America.
Oh, all the mainstream people were very, very sure that Joe Biden never checked his watch during that funeral of the military member.
Yeah, do you notice when he took the picture, it was during the day? Donald Trump, what was he, like 2 in the morning? Do you remember seeing the photographs of him posting at 3 in the fucking morning? Or was that just him consorting with rich, wealthy people to make the world a more corrupt fucking place? Get out of here. Seriously, get out of here. I watched the whole world fall apart in one person changing. One person. We went, remember how we're always told your vote doesn't matter, right? It's all the same, it's corrupt. We change one person, the whole world falls apart. 1 minute we're hammering the government for truth and everything else, and then the next minute we're defending the very system that you said was so corrupt, that was so self-indulging, that was only for special interest and self-selected people. But I'm told to trust the science, I'm told to trust politicians, I'm told to trust all these people that don't have egos all of a sudden. Come on. Joe Biden should be impeached, tried for treason, and probably hung in public for treason to the United States of America, because that's exactly what he did. He allowed people, based on his sole actions and his sole premise, when he crouched down and knelt down on that binder, he knew fucking exactly legally. These people know exactly what they're doing. He knew exactly what he did and what he sacrificed. He could have caused 100,000 people to die in a very short span of time. Now, I know in the day and era when there's billions of people and we fucking value human life that this is a tragedy. But look, like, how many times do we got to hear it? The trillions of dollars and all this, the death and the life. Say their name for Black Lives Matter, but I don't see them saying their name for these men that died right after Joe Biden's policies. Say their name, all 11 of them fucking Marines. Say their names. One woman, the mother, spoke out against Joe Biden, was banned from Facebook, deleted her account, Instagram as well. So that's unanimously 2 different avenues. Snip. Sounds like combating misinformation. We don't want to cut across the grain here. I'm not calling for radicalization of my countrymen and women, but if our government doesn't step in at the local elected and national represented level, it is highly enticing and it is highly showing of how disconnected they are from people. Everybody that I know is pissed off, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's my little bubble. I talk to a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people that it's like, once again, we change one person and everything. I know they have cabinet members, but it shows what ideology and drive and aim and purpose and like all these other things that are cliche words, right? But no, we've seen it, man. You see it at the gas pump. You see it at the milk prices. You see it at the wood level. You see it at inflation. Your dollars are going less.
So here's where I'm going to shatter your hopes and dreams. You were talking about legal precedent, and in the last 100 years or so, after what I've been looking into, it's been extremely difficult to make this happen because legal precedent to charge somebody with treason, you have to show intent to betray your country. So whatever you want to call it, incompetence or whatever, isn't enough.
But he knew what would happen. They knew what would happen. They said you would have another Gulf of Tonkin or whatever the fuck it was called in the 70s. They said that. I seen the documents, David.
That's where it gets tricky, though. You have to prove his intent.
I don't have to prove shit. I know what Joe Biden. These people know exactly what they're doing.
Well, we don't have to.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. This is how when all 3 levels of government are off the rails, they're all treasonous cocksuckers. Like, for real. Like, we don't have to. Their intent is the elites versus us. Their intent is to shatter you as a person. We know this, David. I know I'm mixing a lot of things going on here, but we know this as people. I think the general person understands how disconnected our officials are from us. And then for them to just do very acts that they were told to not do because of the downfall, and then they happen. So let's not get them for, if we impeach Donald Trump based on something that wasn't even planned, like they said it was for the whole time.
Impeachment's a totally different discussion.
Yeah, I know. But let's start with impeachment. Like our founding fathers had to go through the beginning steps. And to go further here with the Trump impeachment, I truly believe that was the open incitement that there is at least a political civil war at the federal level. And if there is such infighting at the federal level, once again, the local politics and everything else, Joe Biden is treasonous. He is a traitor to this country, and I do not believe that he was fully legally elected as the President of the United States. And now I'm not saying that Donald Trump should have just retained power, but maybe he should have retained power.
I don't even know how to make that okay for YouTube.
Yeah, fuck YouTube. I know they're going to delete every channel eventually. Good thing we save all these videos, YouTube, unless you snipe into Skype. Fucking cocksuckers.
Oh, don't worry, they delete them out too.
Yeah, I wonder why there's no audio for the second episode. For all I know, that could be a technical issue, and I'm just an idiot. But.
Yeah, probably, but who doesn't love a good conspiracy?
Yeah, David, so I know I kind of took a little of your thunder there, but what do you think? Like, obviously, we don't think anything's going to probably come of this.
Nothing's going to happen.
Scot-free. And to go even further, you were definitely right on, because right after last week, you said Kamala Harris has been sounding more presidential. And you sent tweets, and it's very true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
So I wonder if they're just going to switch. Like Biden will be VP. That will be the political dishes.
I mean, who knows what's happening? Behind the scenes, it could already be happening. Who knows?
Biden just takes all the slack and he can put his head down on a binder. Oh, I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah, usually that's her job. Anyway, I don't know if you have anything else to follow.
Yeah,
before we get into your total 180.
I got a couple things here. Just real quick to I don't even know if I want to bring it up again. I saw a news article that talked about an Afghan interpreter that helped rescue Joe Biden in 2008 was left behind. And my favorite part about the article that I was reading was talking about how they were trying to paint the picture of like Joe Biden knew exactly what it was like. Like he has firsthand experience being behind enemy lines and in a terrorist hostage negotiation. And these people, it's a new level of cuckoldry in the media. I hope people understand this. It really is, man. You heard about Rogan taking the horse tranquilizer to get over COVID?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that and many other things, and the fact that he's already a peak human health.
Yeah, I'm sure he was vaccinated as well.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna just say this out of the blue. Alex Jones was right because I have it written down. It's fucking crazy, man.
You just gonna leave us on that?
Yeah, no, Alex Jones was right, bro.
Just in general, or something specific?
Well, no, well, come on, man. Like, come on, man. I mean, let's just go with the whole driver's license on the cell phone. Just this podcast, that in particular. I mean, what else do you call it other than trying to track and trace human activity?
It's so just a convenience, Ryan.
Dude, they monetize everything.
You use Apple Pay?
Yeah, they monetize everything, though. Video games, movies, everything's monetized down to like the millisecond of experience. Come on, you're not going to do that for all of human existence if you can map it and have algorithms to track me and trace me and tax me. Self-driving cars, all this shit. They're building a world without us on top of it with backflipping fucking robots. Come on, man. God damn it. 9/11's this week. I hope everybody remembers fucking 20 years ago, because I don't. So I'm going to probably watch a movie on 9/11. I'm actually looking forward to it. Alright, that's all I got. I know I'm rambling, but... Alright, I got like 3 little Decembertainments. So I'll start with the obvious. Dude, I spent some time this week looking up some football shit.
Okay.
Super excited to watch the Bills kick ass, man.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think they'll be actually pretty good this year?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a couple extra receivers. There's a documentary on YouTube. I did not write the guy's name down. I feel terrible. But the name of it is Josh Allen, Glitch in the Matrix. It's like a 45-minute documentary.
Really?
But it's really good. It's well put together. It's an independent guy on YouTube that has a lot of other sports documentaries, like about Tom Brady as well, which he did a phenomenal job on one of those. I watched that one. But dude, there's truly something inspiring about like following the stories of some of these highly successful people that have come over such levels of adversity. You know, and Josh Allen, like literally, if you follow that documentary, dude should have never made it in the NFL, even though he's a freak athlete.
The one thing I know is that he had like no offers coming out of high school.
He wrote to 1,000 colleges and sent them like a highlight, like a YouTube compilation video of him wrecking shit.
Yeah, and like Wyoming was one of like, 3 or something colleges to respond? 2?
2. And then the guy's wrecking at the Bills, like highest paid guaranteed quarterback ever. Like, it's inspiring, man. It's not to like say that everybody's going to be that, but just the idea of like, if you put 100%, 110% of yourself into something, you can be anything. It sounds corny as fuck, but when you look at people like that, it's like, what else do you call it?
Sure. Yeah, some people would have just, I guess I don't have any offers. Time to go find a job somewhere.
Yeah, the belief in oneself, man. And maybe I'm impartial because I've watched him, like, literally, we've talked that I've watched football for about 8 years, like, serious, and, like, try to understand it and at a different level and listen to commentation over the last few years. But to, like, watch the kid grow, we'll say, and, like, actually get better and stuff, it's so cool, man. Like, the kid's from small town, so for him to come in this area that's kind of like a little smaller city, like, it's so
Good
cool.
fit.
It's good, yeah. It's good for the area. It's good for my community. It's inspiring to people. Bill's Mafia rallies around this kid all the time. So it's just like there's so much positives. I love my city's on the rise, even though I trash talk the state a lot. It seems like a lot locally here is like, honestly, man, like a lot of people are sick of like, I needed Decembertainment this week, and I'm gonna piggyback this into my next one that I nerded out super hard this week with. But like I actually was like last week, I need to get the fuck away from death and sadness and, on top of everything else. You only have so much energy in a day. And this week in particular, I started my new job. So that took a lot of my mind. So it helped me dissipate from politics. And I actually had to set aside time this week to sit down for like an hour before we recorded today and skim through everything. Because I've been so distracted, which has been very nice. But to dive into politics, man, and like to follow this as a passion, as a hobby, like we do at December 17th, 73, like, yeah, man, I needed Decembertainment. So first of all, go fucking Bills, goddammit. I can't wait for the start of the season. Tom Brady's dope. I hope Allen and him play a Super Bowl together. It'd be so cool, man. I wanted that last year. We got super close, so whatever. I'll bring up my first week as electrician right now. I got asked how I like it. I don't know how many people out there know skilled trades, but it's being an electrician, man. I have a long way to go if I want to be a top earner or top 1% in the field and stuff. But overall, I like it. It's a skilled trade. I'm referencing it on Decembertainment for myself in a selfish way because, I tell everybody young, if you can't do the degree and shit, at least learn a skill and then try to monetize what we do it, Dave. You and I do it. We shoot YouTube. Hopefully one day, we can make something of it. If not, it's a hobby. Like that's the kind of idea. Be modest and humble, and I think blue collar trades really humble you because you realize how much work it takes to get shit done, and you may not get the pay because it's not really glorified to the average person. Like you can't do anything without electricity, and the world is being built in a level that without electricity it will be unlivable. So, in theory, the level of wealth that electricians provide to the world is invaluable to some degree, but we pay X wage, So I have no problem eating shit and learning more, but so far so cool. I'm building a shingle recycling plant in Lockport. They grind down shingles and want to like repurpose them and make new shingles, or maybe they'll turn it into I don't know what they do with it, but there's like fucking, I don't know, boxes probably weigh at least a few hundred pounds, just ground up fucking shingle. So pretty cool. It's cool to build your community, all that shit. I don't even got to go into all that, but it's always cool to learn trade, man. Another trade under my belt, and I'm going to do that the best of my ability like I have at every other job I've ever had. All right, my real Decembertainment this week. Dave, you like video games?
Yep.
Yeah, I had a good video game week this week, man. One of my favorite video game series of all time is Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you've ever played it.
Yeah, I've played them.
All right. I started playing the game when it first came out, like 2008, and I've played pretty much every game but one. And I've always like been a super nerd about it. Not only do I think the story's cool, it's like a mix of fantasy and science fiction with history. They're coming out. They got movies about it. They're coming out with a Netflix series. They have comic books. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the newest one that came out last year. It's fucking shitty, sorry. And I'm referencing because once again, I needed a distraction, and I like other games in the series, but I really reappreciated this game. I've been playing it over the course of the year. I put a couple hours in here and there. I used to play it a lot more, but this week I played, in particular yesterday, I played a good couple hours. I just needed to once again get away, find an escape, and I enjoyed it. But have you ever cried from a video game, Dave?
I don't think I have.
I fucking cried, man. One of the storylines, there was actually 2 storylines in particular that hit like super, like, it was a father-son thing, you know, and I know you know me personally and stuff. We talked a lot about it that I won't even go in here. I need like 10 episodes on my father alone. But like it was so close to home, man. It was so well written, the graphics, the story, the ambient. Like I had a couple kryptonites, you know, so I could like really fucking fully enjoy, like, for real, like Jordan Peterson calls like movies religious experiences, and I literally get in a state of mind that like I need to get away and experience something at a level, you know, that like makes me forget I live in reality. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's about being Vikings and you fucking fuck up churches and everything. It's very cool. I really enjoyed the game. I haven't been gaming a lot in the last few years, so to carve out time and actually game, man, it was awesome. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I just about finished the game. The story so far, it like once again made me revalue the game when I like, because I already put a lot of time into it. I got like all the cool weapons and shit. You know, I put a lot of other times in the non-story area of the game, and when I finally actually went through that area and just focused on that, it was like, wow, there's a good level of wealth here. So yeah, I fucking cried from a video game. I felt like a bitch, but made me realize, well, the words were literally something, my father told me he's proud of the man I've become, and he's more proud of the fact of the man that I will become. You know, and that I know he means even long after he's dust, you know, which is all you can ask for your children. And that was almost literally word for word in the game. And it made me really reevaluate how much time I've put in my relationships with him in particular, but just how things mature, man. The plants that you add water to grow for sure, but I really feel for people that don't have a good relationship with their father, and I understand why it's so easy to have this broken, fragmented existence for a guy that you're supposed to idolize and somebody that's supposed to provide value for your life, and sometimes it seems like they take away from it. But if my father's taught me anything, is there's so much wealth and value in things that look like they're broken. And once again, the things that you put into it, you will get back. And I'm not saying that people that destroy you, you should put value in that. But if it's not hell to talk to them, try. And that's all I can ask for. That's all I can try to teach. So, you know, that's more or less a lot where I come from, is looking through the lens of like of having pride in myself, you know, so that, you know, I provide good things to the world. And my father has told me I'm his hero. So it's like, if that doesn't reaffirmate the way I live my life, I don't know what does. So I appreciate everybody from watching. If you made it to the end, this is Dave and Ryan, December 1773. Look forward to seeing everybody on the premiere on Labor Day. Enjoy your day off if you get off. If you work, get a different job so you're off. I don't know what to tell you. And we drop at 7 Mondays Eastern. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Yeah, comment, like, subscribe. I look forward to everybody during the premiere. I'll be there. Dave will be there. And yeah, thank you for your time, David, and thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Go Bills.
I was waiting for it.
Peace, boys.